So glad you're here. If you're watching this video, please like and subscribe to my channel and tell me in the comments where you're listening to my story of revenge from. I want to know how far it's traveled. I stared out the window of our modest home in Phoenix, the desert sun casting harsh shadows across the cactus-lined yard, like jagged reminders of the cracks in my marriage. The air inside was heavy, thick with unspoken words and the faint aroma of my homemade tamales cooling on the counter. A recipe passed down from my abuela, one I'd shared with everyone in the family. But lately, those family dinners felt like staged performances, everyone smiling through gritted teeth. My husband, Carlos, had come home late again from what he called inventory checks at the hardware store he managed. He looked worn, but not from work. His eyes darted away from mine, and there was a subtle shift in his walk, like he was carrying guilt in his pockets. He pecked me on the cheek, mumbled something about being tired, and headed straight to the bedroom without changing out of his clothes. The scent trailing him wasn't just sawdust and oil. It was mixed with something lighter, fresher, like lavender body wash, not the citrus soap we kept in our bathroom. That night, as his snores rattled the walls like a faulty engine, I couldn't sleep. 42 years we'd been together, building this life from nothing. I started my little flower shop downtown when we were young, turning it into a chain of 3 stores through endless nights arranging bouquets for weddings, funerals, and everything in between. Carlos handled the finances, but the heart, the designs, the customer smiles, that was all me. Now, at 65, I felt the weight of suspicion creeping in like sand in my shoes. I slipped out of bed, my bare feet silent on the cool tile floor, and started tidying his things out of habit. His wallet on the dresser, keys on the hook, and his phone charging on the nightstand. The screen lit up with a notification, a text that glowed in the dark like a betrayal. "Missed you tonight, Pops. Can't wait for more." Pops? My heart stuttered. That nickname. Only our daughter-in-law, Maria, called him that in her teasing way at barbecues. But this felt wrong, intimate. I unlocked the phone. His password was our anniversary, unchanged for decades, and scrolled. Deleted conversations, but not all. Snippets, hotel addresses, emojis of hearts and lips, and one photo of her in a silk robe I didn't recognize. My knees buckled. Maria, married to our son Luis for 8 years, the woman I'd mentored in floral arrangements, helping her start her own side gig. How could this be? I didn't cry. Not yet. Instead, a cold resolve settled in, like the chill of an unexpected desert night. I snapped photos of the messages, the phone trembling in my hands, and put it back. The next morning, over coffee strong and black, the way Carlos liked it, I watched him closely. He avoided my eyes, muttering about a supplier meeting in Tucson. "Be home late, Rosa," he said, patting my hand like I was a child. I nodded, smiling through the knot in my stomach, but inside, questions swirled like a dust storm. Why Tucson? He hated the drive. And why did his shirt smell faintly of lavender again? After he left, I rummaged through his truck in the garage, the engine still ticking from the heat. In the glove box, Amid receipts and tools, my fingers closed around a small bottle massage oil, half empty, with a sticky cap. We hadn't touched each other like that in years. He blamed his back, his age. This was fresh, used. My vision blurred with rage, but I pocketed a photo and replaced it carefully, wiping my hands as if the oil carried their sins. Days blurred into a haze of doubt. I found more, a hotel keycard in his jacket, a whispered phone call I overheard late at night. "Soon, we'll have it all," he said, voice low and conspiratorial. "Have what?" My shops? The business I'd poured my soul into? I couldn't ignore it anymore. I called an old friend, Senora Gomez, who'd gone through something similar. She gave me the number of a private investigator, Diego, quiet, efficient, with eyes that missed nothing. We met at a dusty cafe on the outskirts, the kind with cracked vinyl seats and endless refills. I handed him a USB with the photos, my voice barely above a whisper. "I think Carlos is cheating with family." The words burned my throat. Diego nodded. No judgment, just notes in his worn notebook. "I'll tell him starting today, Senora Diaz. Stay calm, don't tip him off." I left feeling exposed, like the sun had stripped away my last layer of denial. 42 years. And here I was, spying on the man who'd promised forever under a phoenix sunset. That night, as I arranged roses in the shop, thorns pricking my fingers like accusations, my phone buzzed. Diego's first report. Photos of Carlos at a motel off the highway, arm around Maria, her head on his shoulder. They looked like lovers, not in-laws. She wore a sundress I'd bought her for her birthday, heavy makeup, hiding the guilt I now saw clearly. More pics, them in a booth at a dimly lit diner, hands intertwined, laughing over wine, and a video, grainy but damning Maria leaning in, whispering, Carlos's face lighting up in a way I hadn't seen since our honeymoon. I replayed it in the empty shop, the floral scents turning sour in my nose. How long? Why her? At family gatherings, Maria always rolled her eyes at Carlos's jokes, sitting far away. Luis would laugh. "Mom, Maria thinks that's corny." I'd believed it, chalked it up to generational gaps. Now it was obvious an act, perfected to fool us all. The evidence piled up like unpaid bills. Diego sent audio from a bugged meeting. "Pops, once we forge those deeds, the flower shops are ours. Rosa's too old to notice." Carlos chuckled. "She trusts me with the books. We'll push her out gently." Gently? My life's work, stolen by the men I loved and the woman I treated like a daughter. I taught Maria how to tie bouquets, shared my secret for long-lasting arrangements. Betrayal twisted deeper than any thorn. I saved everything, photos, videos, audio, on a hidden drive, noting times, places, details. My hands shook, but my mind sharpened. This wasn't just an affair. It was a plot to ruin me. Weeks of agony followed. Carlos grew bolder, meetings more frequent. One evening, he left his briefcase open inside, draft papers transferring my shops to Maria's name, forged signatures mocking my trust. I photographed them, hard hammering. That night, over dinner tamales I'd made with extra spice, watching him sweat, I tested him. Carlos, the shops are booming. Maybe we expand? He shifted, eyes evasive. Let's talk later more. Complicated stuff. Complicated indeed. After he passed out from wine, I snuck to his truck again. The massage oil was there, fresher residue on the cap. They'd used it recently. Rage fueled me. In the kitchen, under the sink, I found industrial epoxy strong, clear, the kind we used for fixing vases at the shop. I emptied the oil, filled it with epoxy, shook it to mimic the texture. No one would know until too late. I replaced it, heart racing like a monsoon storm approaching. The plan solidified. I told Carlos I had a florist convention in Flagstaff, home late. His relief was palpable, a quick hug, eyes gleaming. Take care, Rosa. That night, I eavesdropped on his call. She's gone tomorrow. Come over, mi amor. No more hiding. Maria's giggle. Finally, Pops. The house to ourselves. My blood boiled. I hid a recorder in the bedroom. Behind our wedding photo ironic, their smiles now lies. Tucked under books, it would catch everything. In the kitchen, I rigged a smoke trap. A pan of oil on the stove, string tied to the igniter, leading to the window. Pull from afar and smoke would billow, alerting neighbors. Dawn broke hot and unforgiving. I left but hid at Senora Gomez's across the street, coffee in hand, eyes on the door. By 11, Maria arrived sundress, sunglasses, slipping inside like a thief. Through the app-linked recorder, laughter, clinks, then bed creaks. The old bat's clueless, Maria sneered, then screams, We're stuck. What is this? Epoxy at work. I triggered. The smoke black plumes rose. Neighbors panicked. Fire at the Diaz house! Calls to 911. Sirens wailed. The truck screeched up. Luis, my son, the firefighter, led the charge, axe in hand. He burst in, finding them glued, naked, humiliated. Dad? Maria? What the hell? His voice broke over the audio. Teammates gasped, stifled laughs. Chief, it's just smoke, no fire. But the real blaze was the scandal. Neighbors filmed, video spreading. Father-in-law and Dill? Disgraceful. I rushed back, feigning shock. At the hospital, after separation, I swapped ointment with hot sauce. Screams echoed. It burns. More humiliation. I presented divorce papers, evidence folder thick as my pain. Sign or lose everything. Maria begged Luis. He walked away, stone-faced. Carlos pleaded. I turned, hugging Luis in the hall. Why them, Mom? We cried, but rebuilt. Months later, my shops flourish. Luis helps arrange bouquets, his laugh returning slowly. We walk the desert paths, healing. They lost it all. I kept my petals intact. Did you like my story? And which city are you listening from? Let's meet in the comments. If you like the story, you can support me by sending us super thanks so I can keep bringing more stories like this. Thank you so much for your sweet support. I'm looking forward to your comments on the story. On the screen, you can see 2 new live stories that I highly recommend. There's so much more on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next live story. With love and respect.